In this video, I will answer the question, why is sex important at 50 when you already have children? This question is not as simple as it may seem, so listen to me carefully. But before I start, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. First, I want to say that sex is an evolutionarily developed mechanism for transmitting information about life to the next generation. Therefore, it is a biologically very important act. This act did not arise by chance in the process of evolution. During evolution, a division into male and female sexes occurred. Previously identical cells suddenly began to behave differently. Multicellular organisms emerged, with individuals of male and female types. Why is this necessary? It is necessary so that male and female types of individuals live differently. They gather information differently. For example, male individuals gather information exclusively through their intellect. They follow a chain of cause and effect relationships, gather information, organize it in their own way, analyze it, and then act. This is characteristic of male individuals. Female individuals behave differently. They gather information differently. If men gather information through intellect, women gather information primarily relying on their subconscious, on their intuition. You see, two different ways of gathering information, two different ways of processing this information, and two different ways of responding. Female individuals, in their own way, each gather the necessary information. During sexual intercourse, during sex, they transmit this new information to the next generation. Therefore, the next generation acquires greater resilience. This is why the division into male and female individuals was necessary. Evolution has provided for everything. The division into male and female types of individuals begins very early and reaches perfection in humans. Therefore, there are 4 types of sex or 4 levels. The first level of sex is the sexual act during which sperm meets the egg. I am a doctor, so I have to speak plainly. A zygote is formed, a new cell. This new cell acquires new experience from the father and new experience from the mother. The resilience of this cell increases. This sexual act is performed by all animals, including humans. To ensure that this act is always completed, evolution has provided an interesting mechanism. Animals, like humans, derive pleasure from it, and new life emerges. This is the first level of sex. I repeat, it is the same for humans and animals. The second level of sex is an invention of humans. Humans are very greedy creatures, honestly. They want as much pleasure as possible. Animals do not care about having a lot of pleasure, but humans do. How do they achieve this? Through different sexual positions, stimulation of erogenous zones, and additional means that humans use. These means include alcohol, drugs, and various substances consumed during sex. What is achieved? The amount of pleasure increases, but it is mainly physical pleasure. Pleasure obtained at the level of sensory organs only. Yes, there is an exchange of energy and information, but it is not of the same quality. However, it is at this second level of sex that many abnormal phenomena arise due to human interference. What are these abnormal phenomena? They include perversions, oppression, or one might say, the humiliation of a partner. This is an excessive exaggeration of the significance of this type of sex. All world religions fight against this second level of sexual expression. They call it debauchery, promiscuity. And what is most interesting, science has proven that it is at this second level of sex that the influence of the first sexual partner, known as telegony, occurs. All sexually transmitted diseases emerge. Most importantly, all this affects the health of the next generation. Look at how many children are now born with developmental abnormalities. All this is a result of the second level of sex. I repeat, when the greedy desire of humans to obtain as much pleasure as possible from sex increases. This is the second level. The third level of sex is more meaningful. The third level of sex is when a man and a woman voluntarily form a union. At this point, sex rises to a new, higher level. How is this manifested? There is an exchange of information, an exchange of energy, just as at the second level of sex. But in addition, there is an exchange of thoughts. What is a thought? A thought is a combination of several types of information. Meaning emerges, and from a scientific point of view, the concept of a thought form appears. What is this? It is a cluster of information endowed with a large amount of energy. Such a cluster of information possesses a new quality. It can change and shape the personalities of both partners. Thus, the personality of the man shapes the woman, and the personality of the woman shapes the man, and they mutually enrich each other. This happens when there is meaningful sex, when people voluntarily create a family and engage in sex. At the same time, a child is born, and they mutually enhance each other's personal qualities. But this is not the end. There is a third, fourth level of sex. The fourth level of sex occurs on completely different grounds. At the fourth level of sex, two new qualities emerge: the concept of love and the concept of spirituality. Let me remind you what love is. First, let's define what sex is. Sex is the attraction to the opposite sex, for the purpose of transmitting information to a new generation. And what is love? Love detaches from sex. Why? Because love is the recognition of the value of another person. It is through the recognition of the value of another person that care for that person begins. You care for your partner, and this care leads to improved health, increased longevity, and a desire to create something new. That is, a desire for creativity. This is what love brings. Another new quality emerges at the fourth level of sex: spirituality. What is spirituality? Spirituality is the pure desire of a person to find truth, the desire to learn something new, the desire to create something absolutely new. Look at what happens. The fourth level of sex is the highest, the most spiritual, the most human level. Because it is where love manifests and where spirituality manifests. And here, at the fourth level of sex, another new quality emerges, which in science is called non-surgical correction of a diseased organ. Let me explain with an example what this means. For instance, if a wife has diseased kidneys and the husband has strong, healthy kidneys during sex, the husband's kidneys energetically and informationally support and complement the wife's diseased kidneys. Do you see how interesting this is? I repeat, there are 4 levels of sex. So, it is your right, your choice, at which level of sex you will begin to act. A professor's advice: now you know the 4 levels of sex. Now you know how your partner will influence you, what you will give to your partner. Remember, the higher the level of sex, the longer your well-being and health, the longer you will live, and the more new, purely human, creative results you will achieve in your life.